Today, we'll be discussing the last phase of Telangana movement. Telangana movement of 1969 has passed through different stages, different phases. The first phase was completely a different one with mass organizations or agitations at a very lower level like Illandu or Khammam or Warangal or coming to Hyderabad and spreading in a gradual way. The middle phase of the movement, I am dividing for our convenience. There is no such division, but I am dividing for our convenience that the movement, the first one is the beginnings of it. The second phase, you can say the spread of the movement. The spread of the movement is characterized by the violent protests, lathi charge, firings, and finally culminating into the last phase, that is coming into political activity. In the second phase, we have seen so much of violence. Students are violently protesting against the state, and state is actually, I don't say react, but state barbarically used, mercilessly used lathi charge and firings. That is why in the second phase, from the 𝗧𝗏 firing, that is January 24th onwards, you can see spread till September, October, you have continuous firings. In all these firings, 369 people were killed. Most of them were students and youth. Very tragically, some of the students or the martyrs were just 10 or 11 years old people. So you can see the gravity of the repression on Telangana movement in 1969 in the entire phase. The third phase, which we are talking today, is a phase characterized by the political activity. Now the movement, which was completely a mass movement, is entering into a political phase. Do I mean that the activities or the actions happening before were not political? No. That is also political. Why I am saying political activity means it is not the mass agitations which are determining this phase, but it is the politicians, political leaders, and the governments which are deciding the movement's dynamics in this phase. That is why I am talking it as a political phase. What is this political phase? Basically, in this phase, we have some people who are very, very important. First one is the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Second is Chenna Reddy. Chenna Reddy from Telangana Praja Samiti or the agitation side, and Indira Gandhi from the state side. These two are the important personalities which are deciding the dynamics of the movement at this point of time. So, in this phase, we will be talking about happenings between 1969-72, that is after March 1969 till 1972. By 1972, the movement has died down. There was no mass movement. But still, the mass movement's repercussions, consequences, and result can be seen till 1979. That is why I have taken this period from April 69 to 1972. In this topic, we will be talking about how the movement is continuing, though political activity is also beginning simultaneously. And second aspect is the Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's attitude towards Telangana, what she was thinking about Telangana, whether she was sympathetic towards Telangana demands or adamant. Third point is her new formulation, that is the first formula, which is known as 8-point formula. To checkmate the movement, she came with a new formula which is known as the 8-point formula. Then comes the temporary withdrawal of agitation. Telangana movement started with hunger strikes and entered into a massive unrest stage. And finally, the temporary withdrawal, a declaration itself is happening that we are withdrawing the movement temporarily. So the temporary withdrawal of agitation will be discussed. Then last one is victories of TPS, that is Telangana Praja Samiti, and merger with Congress. Thus, one phase of 1969 movement is completely coming to an end. First of all, we'll see what are the things happening after March, major events. Konda Lakshman Bapuji resigned on 28th March. He was trying to convince the leadership, convince the state Congress leadership, at the same time trying to convince the central leadership to in favor of Telangana, but he could not succeed. That is why we can see his statements even after this. He was talking about sub-state in Andhra Pradesh also in the next phase. We'll be talking about it today. So, Konda Lakshman Bapuji resigned on 28th March. On 1st April, in Lok Sabha, Nizamabad MP 𝗵𝗚 Reddy has initiated discussion on Telangana. So, Lok Sabha started discussing about Telangana. This is the same man who was talking about referendum in Telangana. The same 𝗵𝗚 Reddy was a ardent, staunch Telangana leader. Even in the last phase of the movement, he was active in many meetings. He was discussing with the people of the latter stage who do not know what was Nehru saying at the time of merger. 𝗵𝗚 Reddy, a staunch supporter of Telangana. So, 𝗵𝗚 Reddy's introduction or initiation in Lok Sabha for discussion is another important activity. On 10th April, see, by this time what is happening? Telangana Praja Samiti is already there in shape and TPS is leading the struggle. There are more activities, actions. The streets are laid with the activities and actions of the agitators. As a result, what has happened? The state is coming with brutal repression and Telangana has become topic of the day. It is hitting the newspapers. So, the state law and order is a very serious aspect. So, because of this, Indira Gandhi immediately called the leaders from both the regions. On 10th April, leaders met Indira Gandhi. From Telangana side, we had Chennareddy, V.B. Raju, N. Ramachandra Reddy, Nukala Ramachandra Reddy, J. Chokkarao. Among these people, you can see Chennareddy, a congressman, was not with the movement in the first 100 days of Telangana agitation, but gradually entering into movement. V.B. Raju, starting from Burgula space, 1950s itself, he was a settler in Hyderabad and he was taking the side of anti-Telangana in many ways. But he was entering into Telangana always in all phases. We can see him. And in the last phase also, he is opposing Telangana demand. And V.B. Raju, but unfortunately, he is representing Telangana. Valluri Basavaraju. Then Nukala Ramachandra Reddy. Then Chokkarao, TRC leader, Telangana Regional Committee's leader. So, these four were representing Telangana cause in the talks with Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. From Andhra, the leaders were Kakani Venkataratnam, who was initiating the next phase 1973 Jayandhra movement. This time he is opposing Telangana. And when Indira Gandhi came to Hyderabad, he was talking all the things like it is nothing but anti-social activity and all those things. But the same man was starting Jayandhra movement when Mulki rules are against Andhra. So, Kakani Venkataratnam. Damodaram Sanjeevayya, ex-deputy chief minister. And Kottapalli Raghuramaya, a minister. So, these three people were representing Andhra cause at Indira Gandhi's place. So, Indira Gandhi, after the deliberations, discussions with all these leaders, is clear-cut understanding. She had a very clear-cut understanding and adamant understanding, I wanted to say. She was never in favor of Telangana. She was always saying no for separate Telangana. Whatever you can do inside Andhra Pradesh, it's okay. But no separate Telangana. She always opposed the demand of separate Telangana, and in this regard, she is coming up with the first magical wand, as she thought, that this 8-point formula could work out and Telangana people will stop fighting for the separate Telangana. So she came up with a new formula which is known as 8-point formula. She declared it on 11th April after the completion of the talks with the leaders. And she said, this is aimed at the development of Telangana region. She also met Brahmanand Reddy along with these leaders. And in the deliberations, many of the critics clearly say that she was influenced more by Brahmanand Reddy than our Telangana leaders. So, that is why in the formulas, in 8-point formula, she was referring to, according to the suggestion of the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, was consistently talked about. So what do you mean? She was influenced, or she was taking the suggestion of Brahmanand Reddy and coming up with the ideas of 8 points. So let's see what is this 8-point formula. What are the main points, 8 points? Do these 8 points satisfy the Telangana agitators? The first point is, a high power committee shall be appointed with a retired or sitting Supreme Court judge as chairperson. A high power committee with a person retired or sitting Supreme Court judge. This is the chairperson. And next, an economist who is having the knowledge of state's resources, economic resources. Number 2, he'll be the member. And a representative of Comptroller and Auditor General, this is the 3rd member. So with these 3 people, Indira Gandhi has put forth the first formula to constitute a high power committee. What for? To decide the surplus of Telangana. Surplus of Telangana is always a crucial thing. In gentleman agreement itself, we have clearly mentioned from Telangana side that the surplus of Telangana should be spent on Telangana. Andhra is usurping it. The surplus of Telangana is being spent on Andhra's development. This is the main contention when we talk about surplus. So to address this issue, Indira Gandhi has come up with this formula. And this formula fixes that the report should come by May end. Means most probably 1.5 month time it was there for this committee. Second point, discussions should be done. Who should be participating in these discussions? Discussions are deliberations. The Finance, Home, Ministries and Planning Commission and the representatives of the state government. Finance, Home, Planning Commission. Finance is definitely involved because the surplus or the amounts to be allocated to Telangana will be discussed in this. Second one is Home Ministry. Why Home Ministry is important? Because it is the home affairs which deal with law and order, at the same time all the rules formulated in the state. So Home Ministry. Next is the Planning Commission, which will be allocating the funds to the states. Apart from these 3, the representatives of the state government should sit together and they have to discuss and decide to provide funds to supplement the loss to Telangana. It is clearly mentioned, to supplement the loss to Telangana. It means actually in every point of time, they are clearly accepting that there is loss to Telangana, but no one is taking the charge, no one is taking the responsibility of filling the loss in a better way. They are just digging the holes there itself to fill the loss for Telangana. They are not ready to give Telangana, but they are ready to repay the loss by appointing such committee. So this is the second committee. So second point in 8-point formula is a committee to decide, to assess and decide the loss and repay it or fulfill it. This committee will be represented with the people from important departments, the concerned departments. Then comes the third point in 8-point formula. A regional development committee with the chief minister as the chairperson. Chief minister as chairperson. A regional development committee. You see, already we had TRC in the form of council in the gentleman agreement. But it could not be done and we have got TRC, that is Telangana Regional Committee. Now she is talking about a regional development committee. Is it not redundancy? When you had one institution, but you did not make it work properly, you consciously killed it, and now we are appointing a committee which is known as Regional Development Committee with the Chief Minister as chairperson. You can see a difference. For TRC, Telangana people will be the people who will be leading it. Now the CM will be the chairperson. So can we expect justice? So CM as chairperson and Planning Commission member who will be the advisor, Telangana ministers and chairman of TRC, that is committee, will be the members. So CM planning committee member and Telangana ministers, and fourth one is chairman of Telangana Regional Committee will be the members. And what is the nature of this body? This body will be an advisory one. This body will give advices to the state government regarding Telangana issue, Telangana problems, Telangana grievances, or Telangana sectors. So you can see a new body is formed, but it's just an advisory body. So it will not be what you call a compulsory. It is not, the onus will not be on the state government to implement whatever they have decided, whatever they are advising. So this is the third point. Fourth point, a committee of officials to implement the plans. There are plans. Now the first three committees, the first 3 points in the 8-point formula are the plans, to be implemented. So to implement the plans, a committee of officials will be appointed. Now this is the committee of officials. This committee will be appointed and it will be chaired by the member from Planning Commission, who is the advisor to the committee which is in point number 3, a Regional Development Committee, and State Government too. So the member Planning Commission will be the chairperson of this committee of officials, and representatives from representative from Central, Home Ministry, Finance Ministry, and State Government will be the members. So representatives from Home Ministry, Finance Ministry plus State Government will be meeting under the chairmanship of the member of Planning Commission to implement the plans. So this fourth point is to implement what we have decided till first 3 points. Then fifth point under 8-point formula, a central advisory committee under the chairmanship of UPSC to look into the grievances of Telangana employees and make recommendations. Why UPSC? UPSC is part of the ministry which is under Department of Personnel and Grievances. So automatically the service conditions and conditions of the employees, everything will fall under this department. So a central advisory committee under the chairmanship of UPSC member will come into Hyderabad so that they will listen to the grievances of employees, decide upon and advise, make recommendations to the government regarding promotions, service conditions, employment or gradation, whatever they have. So this is to pacify the employees. This point number 5 was given. Then sixth point, more powers to TRC and the bodies formed for the development of Telangana. More powers to TRC means what? Already Telangana Regional Committee had some powers. It means you are accepting that they are not powerful. All the powers given to TRC are not in reality, they are not useful for the development of Telangana. So now more powers to TRC is a general statement. There should be some concrete things. If you don't have concrete things, by saying such words like more powers to TRC, it will not satisfy the demand of Telangana. So apart from TRC, other bodies which were created or which are being created for the development of Telangana should be given more powers. This is what point number 6 says. And 7th point is the central government shall consider constitutional provisions to provide employment for Telangana people, that is Mulki rule. For that, the central government will consult jurists, eminent jurists or a group of jurists. This is what point number 7 said. So this is the related to the employment, Mulki rules, how Mulki rules should be implemented regarding Telangana with regard to Telangana region. So already Telangana movement is based on the Mulki rules. The problem is Mulki rules. Now because already by this time there are many judgments coming up from in different levels like local level, full bench level, Supreme Court and High Court and all these things. We'll be talking about those judgments in a separate topic. All the judgments and committees will be taken in a separate class so that we'll just segregate it for our convenience. So the 7th point is talking about the Mulki rule and consultation with jurists to provide employment for locals. The last point is, again, this is a point related to supervision. The Prime Minister shall hold review meetings with the Telangana Development Committee and other bodies created twice in a year. So, Prime Minister is taking the responsibility for herself, or in future if any other Prime Minister is there, that they will be holding the review meetings with the Telangana Development Committee. Why it is necessary? Because the 8th point is talking about the implementation. So, the supervision should be a regular one, so that if at all violations are there, that can be corrected. This is the essence of this regular supervision. But all these 8 points are not going to satisfy Telangana status, because it is nothing different from the earlier promises. In the earlier phase, we have seen gentleman agreement which was signed and nothing was happening. All the clauses, all the agreements made were completely violated, and there is no check and there is no one talking about it. Only at times they said, yeah, it is violated, and just proceed without rectifying those things. So people are not accepting this 8-point formula as a panacea, as a medicine for the grievances of Telangana. So neither the Telangana agitators and leaders are satisfied, nor the opposition parties at the national level who are discussing this Telangana movement and central government's attitude in Lok Sabha. They were also not satisfied. All the leaders, starting from Jansangh, CPM and all those people, were criticizing the stand of central government. And 8-point formula is not going to bring out a change in the political equations in Telangana. That is what they felt. And Telangana agitators, of course, they have seen treachery again and again. So they are not going to believe that this 8-point formula is going to solve the issues of Telangana. So TNGO said there is nothing new in it. And they were already chalked plans for indefinite strike from April 15th. So they said we are going ahead with the same strike plan from April 15th. Konda Lakshman Bapuji, Chenna Reddy, etc. Some people, like, they are in the forefront of Telangana movement. Whether they are into TPAS or into agitation, they are into streets, it doesn't matter. Their word weighs a lot. Their statements are considered as the statements from Telangana. Konda Lakshman did not agree to the ultimate outcome of 8-point formula. Even Chenna Reddy too said this is not going to elevate any of the position of Telangana. Konda Lakshman at the same time was proposing another thing, like a substate inside AP. He was comparing, or he is taking the case study of some state in Northeast, saying that inside a state, another state, smaller state, that is substate. Let it happen and Telangana will be happy. This is what Konda Lakshman Bapuji was thinking at that point of time. So, though he was proposing, there is no one to take such arguments. They are very clear that this 8-point formula is going to be the final one, which is going to help to pacify the agitators or to suppress the wishes of Telangana people, because all these things have some mechanisms. So you can see in this also, the first one is a committee for surplus. Second one is a committee for providing, for fulfilling the loss to Telangana. Third one is a committee for regional development. Fourth one is a committee for the implementation of plans. Fifth one is grievances of employees. Sixth one is, of course, powers. Again, seventh one is a committee for mulki rules. So almost 5 important committees will be created, and these committees shall work with the state government, with the central government to address the issues raised by Telangana agitation. This is the essence of 8-point formula. So to implement this 8-point formula, what has happened? There are some things happening. Like AP government has constituted a Telangana Development Committee, a Plan Implementation Committee, so that the plans which are being drafted or talked about will be implemented. They have instituted or constituted, but nothing is moving in a better direction, in a correct direction. Because now the other two committees, important committees, like Justice 𝗓𝗏 𝗚𝗏 committee was appointed to look into the grievances of employees. Justice 𝗓𝗏 𝗚𝗏 was a retired Supreme Court judge, and this man has come with an agenda to look into the grievances of employees. We'll see what was the result. And next, another committee was constituted with Justice 𝗧𝗏 to decide the surplus of Telangana. At this juncture, I would like to make a political comment. Whatever committee the central government constitutes when Telangana demands for its rights, all the committees ditched the aspirations of Telangana. I am talking about the last phase of the Telangana movement. And what was the committee? It was Sri Krishna committee. Sri Krishna committee came with a lot of bang, with 5 members touring all the areas in the state, collecting thousands of materials in favor or against Telangana, or in favor of division or against division, you can say. All these things are happening, but no committee has come out except one committee, that too one-man committee, that is Girglani committee. No one did justice to Telangana movement. To some extent, 𝗧𝗏 committee, that is known as officers committee, is also coming out with some specific remedies for the grievances. And Justice 𝗓𝗏 and Justice 𝗧𝗏, these are the two committees, high-powered committees appointed at this point of time. So, what happened with the committees in the latter phase after the deadline, after a given time? Justice 𝗓𝗏 committee submitted its report in August 1969. And for our desperation, for our agony, we can say, it said, the center cannot amend the constitution for mulki rules. And it cites Golaknath case and Article 16. These things speak about no discrimination by the place of birth. If mulki is implemented, what will happen? By the virtue of your birthplace, you will be discriminated. To be an employee in Telangana, any person in the state will be eligible or should be eligible. But if you are amending mulki rules, you will be stopping non-Telanganites coming into Telangana for jobs. So this is what 𝗓𝗏 said. And next, Justice 𝗧𝗏 committee, it submitted its report, and this is to finalize the surplus of Telangana. Previously, we had another committee known as Kumar Lalit committee. Kumar Lalit committee came out with one figure, we'll talk about it later. And Justice 𝗧𝗏 committee came out with much lesser figure than Kumar Lalit committee. It came out with a surplus of rupees 28.34 crores. 28.34 crores as surplus of Telangana. This is happening in 1969. Remember, we did not get Telangana in 1969. We were getting Telangana in 2014. 69 to 2014, how many decades passed? You imagine how much surplus might have been usurped by Andhra ruling class from Telangana resources. Though, if you say this is a very, very meager amounts, that is 28.34 crores. This also disappointed Telangana leadership. So, because both the committees came out with some report which is not in favor of Telangana demand. So, this is the story about the committees. Then what happened after March? Some of the other major events we will see. This is about the mass movement. These are all government activities, are the activities from state side. From mass side, from people's side, what are the major events happening? That is, Telangana Advocates Association was formed under the leadership of B.C. Jain. Remember, in the last phase also we have an advocate JAC. Advocate JAC was so active in the last phase of the movement. Even this phase, 69 also, advocates became organized. They were organized into Telangana Advocates Association. On 22nd April 1969, Telangana Treachery Day Telangana Vidroha Dinam was observed. Vidroham because you are not getting the things. And on 1st May, TNGOs came out with a demand, that is Telangana Demands Day. Janasangh, another political organization, proposed second CRC during this point of time. Another important aspect happening in this period is the first victory in elections. TPS supported candidate Venkatram Reddy won the council seat. And last point about mass organizations activities till now is on 20th May, Telangana University College teachers held a convention which was attended by Jayashankar, Anandrao Tota, Sridhar Swami, all these professors who were active in Telangana movement at this point of time.